Morning. And I'm so glad that you're tuning in yet again for this day 3. And today we're going to talk about tools of the tray, if you wish, how to record those videos, the technical aspects of how to record your videos, how to set the best background, lighting, sounds. And I know that majority of my students usually come for that, because they just want to have the best equipment and the best tools to record their videos, to go live, to serve the people they're supposed to be serving. And they are not realizing that majority of work needs to be with their mind. And that's why we spent 2 days talking about whom you want to serve and why you want to serve them. And that journaling was very important. So if you haven't done that, I really recommend you to go back to day 1 and day 2 recordings and to do that work. And I designed this course so that every day it takes you about an hour to listen to teaching and then to do the practical exercises. Yesterday, you were supposed to record 3 videos by using your smartphone and to watch them. Because if you're new to video recording and video publishing, you need to get to know how you look like on camera. If you've done that, that's a great thing. If you already record quite a few videos in the past, excellent. But you want to improve it, right? So today I would like to remind you that you need to have more fun when you're recording videos. Why? There are 3 major things about video broadcasting, and we're called to entertain, educate, and inspire. And that's usually why we produce videos. Are you good at entertaining? Some people are. Some people think that they're not that good at entertaining. They want to produce videos that are very informative. But you yourself, you need to play with it and have a lighter attitude towards recording videos. Thankfully, in this day and age, we have all this equipment and we have all these platforms where we can share our thoughts, our expertise, and sometimes we can really entertain people. And don't feel that you cannot share a joke or two. On social media platforms, you can share things from your heart and in the moment. We're living in this unprecedented times. A lot of people are in their homes. They don't go out much. And if you watch the news, you would see broadcasters, TV personalities streaming from their home. And have you noticed that it's not perfect? And I don't know how many of them really had the crew helping them to produce those videos at home. They had probably advice and expertise, but especially at the beginning of COVID, when we learned that we're supposed to be at home, people would not go to other people's houses to set up the equipment. So even those broadcasters were on their own, and you could see that. Because I would like to remind you that if you think and if you put too much pressure on yourself with recording videos and you want them to be perfect and you want them to be very presentable, just remember to what point you want it to be perfect. Remember, perfection is unattainable. And now, if you're a solopreneur and if you want to promote your business, you are not only running everything in your business. Here, you're trying to replace the whole video recording crew, producer, director, lighting, the camera people, the sound, the engineering, makeup, wardrobe, hair, just to name a few. Depending on the company, there are more people involved in production, and all you see is one person who is speaking to you on camera, and some of them read from a teleprompter. But if it's a high quality teleprompter, you wouldn't even be able to recognize it, because there are different kinds of teleprompters. you may be tempted to use teleprompters, and I will talk about it even more, but you will think about all different aspects of video recording. So here's the question, and that's why I ask you to answer this question. What kind of videos do you want to produce? What is on your priority list? Do you want to have a YouTube channel? Do you want to have ongoing communication with your customers or your following? Whom are you addressing? If you are building a nonprofit organization, in your videos, whom are you addressing? Are you addressing potential donors? Are you addressing people who are going to be members of your organization? What is it? So all these things you need to have in writing to know what you're doing. And if you are addressing your potential customers, or if you're a coach and you are addressing those people you want to serve, it helps to imagine an audience of people who are listening to you. Is it a very wide audience, or is it a more narrow audience? Many coaches are trying to find a very narrow niche, and then it's going to be niche, I think. It's going to help them to address their audience on camera. You are imagining people who are there behind the camera. The homework yesterday included recording those videos by looking in the camera. So first thing I would like to mention is when you record your videos and when you practice, you need to look into the camera and not on the screen. Yes, look in the camera and not on the screen. And imagine that there is one person there and you are looking in that person's eyes. When you are recording something for social media, which is this in the spare of moment message, you are talking heart to heart to the person who is watching you. Don't think about numbers. Don't think about likes. Think about those people that you are serving. Think about that one person who is hurting right now, or the one person who needs to hear your message, and speak directly to that person. Then you can imagine if you're a speaker, if you spoke in front of live audiences before, imagine that you are speaking to one person, then another one, then another one. So there are different layers to that, but always try to look in the camera and project that energy that you will project if you were speaking to a real person. So many people turn to me because they want to increase their ministry of business by presenting themselves to the world with elegance and style. And one of my coaches often said that things are usually, they look awkward before they become elegant. And it doesn't mean that we need to stop and we need not to do anything before it's perfect and elegant. We need to start. And we need to record videos. If you're serious about it, you need to record them on a daily basis. Maybe you don't want to post them on a daily basis, and that's all right. But recording them on a daily basis or regularly is a must. Because if you are in a challenge and you record videos, let's say for 5 days in a row, and then you stop, a month from now, it will be much harder for you to start doing it again. But majority of people ask, so how do I make the best light? How do I create the best set? It's up to you, and light is the best when it is a diffused daylight. I like to record live videos outside with some greenery behind me or by the ocean, because my brand represents freedom of fear, and I love to incorporate ocean and nature in my teaching style. And I hope that you have good branding message and you have a strong brand now. If you don't, That is something that I teach in my Vision and Visibility Academy. It's more about visual representation of your brand, which connects video, which connects your photos, which connects your email messages, which connects your how do you represent your brand on your website. So it's all visual representation of what you stand for, who you are, and what you want to share with the world. So the best light is daylight, natural light. If you have a nice window that it gives you some diffused light, you don't want to be in a sharp light, then it's best to face that window. In the background, you will need to move your set around. And because I don't see your particular house, I cannot, or wherever you're recording from, I cannot give you those recommendations. But you can send me a picture and we can figure out how to move things around. Some of my clients, they'd like to have a wall behind them with some pictures or expressions and motivational wall decor. Beware that if you have a motivational expression somewhere on the wall behind you, sometimes your recording will be a mirrored image. That's why, depending on different platforms that you use, your recording may be, your viewers can read exactly what it said there, but sometimes it's a mirrored image. So I don't recommend having something written behind you, but I do recommend to have something that represents you. What kind of wall decor? Some people like to have on the background their library. That is often a good way to have a background. There are also virtual backgrounds that you can implement. I know that on Zoom, we can use virtual backgrounds. I also I have a set with the backdrop that I can use. There's also like a green screen that you can put behind you. But if you're just starting and if you know that you need to get your message out, just start speaking into the camera. Don't worry about all the equipment, because you will procrastinate for weeks and months and maybe years. And you are here for a reason. You are here because you want to stop procrastinating and you want to stop producing those videos. If you keep going, you are going to improve, improve, and improve. You know that repetition is a mother of skill. So don't allow that to stop you. If you need accountability, I'm here to help you. If you can find a friend or a colleague who has the similar goal than yours, just buddy up and together produce those videos and just be accountable that you are recording those videos. When I started recording about 4 years ago, I think I mentioned it, I created a small group, just me and my friend, and I was showing up in that group posting videos. And if your goal now is to post more live videos, remember that if you're just starting, it's very likely that not that many people are going to watch it. And if you start a video and then you stutter, you don't like what you're recording, you can always click, especially with Facebook Live, you can click on the stop and delete button and you can start all over again. Like, not everything in life we can start all over again, but with recording, you can. And you want to share your message with the world. That's the main thing. You want to have it as good as you can do it with do-it-yourself videos. Perfect. Just remember that you are replacing a 10-people crew. So it's all right. Face a window, find a decent background. And now I'm using my computer now, so I'm not moving around, but my computer is sitting on the box on my desk, and I turned it so that I have good lighting. I put a set behind me, and that's another thing. If you need some help with creating a set, you can ask me a question, you can send me an email. You can also ask somebody in your life who has a good eye for these kind of things. And you ask a friend or somebody in your family, can you please help me? And they don't need to be necessarily in your house, but it helps. And you want to have a good set, you want to have a good background. And then you move few things around and see what works. One of the things is that I was taught, try to be in front of a camera and not have any plant that is growing from your head. And right now I cannot see myself, but before I started this broadcast, I tried to make it so that the plant is not growing from my head. There is a plant on one side, and I actually have a plant on the other side, but right now I am recording this on Zoom and broadcasting it on Facebook. And the width of the frame is slightly different. So I had to make sure that those frames are exactly where I want them. So that comes with practice. When you practice, you put your camera, you look at the background, and then don't allow paralysis of analysis you from actually broadcasting. Just keep going. Keep recording, keep practicing. And I am repeating it myself again and again because I know from experience how difficult it is to keep, to pick up if you didn't record for quite some time. So there are a lot of instructional videos on YouTube, and I looked at them. I recorded a couple of my own, but there are a lot of recommendations on different professional cameras if you want to use them, on microphones, and I have links to these products on my website. And sometimes they sell out, so those links are not working exactly, but at least you have photos there of products that you want to, that I would recommend. But over the past 4 or 5 years, I've been purchasing different products, and they are going out of style again and again. Recently, most of you probably seen Ring, which is a very large ring that has attachment in the middle for the cell phone or for the tablet, and it has the dial for different warmth of the light or intensity of the light. I really like that, but I recognize that I cannot use that when I'm wearing glasses because the reflection is there. So when I use a Ring, I just take my glasses off, and I cannot interact with my audience because I cannot read what they're writing there. But that's an option. Also, if I was to use a Ring, let's say with this setting, the reflection in my fireplace screen would also show that. There are box lights that you can purchase, and they still will reflect, but it wouldn't give you such a harsh reflection as a Ring. Ring, you use it if you absolutely must record in the evening, and it's all right. But if you can, record in the daylight with diffuse light, record outside, if that's on brand for you, if you have some good reception, record on brand. I also wanted to mention something about horizontal versus vertical recording on Facebook. And there is a button on my phone that shows lock screen. So I swipe up, I put my phone horizontally, ready to go live. I swipe the screen, I click on the lock and then unlock, swipe it back, and somehow it really turns it into a horizontal recording, and then the recording goes on. So that's one of the tips. You can use different microphones depending on what you need. Sometimes you can use a large desk microphone. Sometimes you can use a lapel mic. When I record outside, and right now I use a lapel mic because it's very convenient. I also, for interviews, when two people are in the room, you can use a dual microphone and just sit next to each other, use that dual microphone, attach it to your phone or computer and just record the conversation. Done that before. Nowadays, many people do interviews, conduct interviews on, let's say, Zoom platform or some other platforms. Very convenient. You can start the conversation. You can broadcast it on social media. You can record it. You can post it on later. Very, very convenient. So I would like to ask you to send me a message or an email. What kind of questions do you have? Because I would like to address more of them in my upcoming teaching. So we talked about light. We talked about the set. And one more thing I would like to mention about the set. Often having plans, something live, adds that personality to your set, which is recommended. Sometimes people choose to just go live in front of a white wall, which is totally fine, but I would recommend that back wall to be very well lit. So make sure that when you use light, you light yourself, because on the real big sets, you don't just have a source of light in front of you and that's it. There could be sources of light from the side. There could be sources of light from the back and you're backlighting, but make sure that you don't look like a ghost. And again, this is something that you can study more of, but make sure that you are well lit. And the easiest and the cheapest way to do it is just by using the beautiful sunlight that we have, thank God. Microphones, you can have a large microphone that you're using on your desk. You can have a lapel mic that that is portable and you can use it outside if needed. You can improve. Sometimes when I record outside by the ocean, I would use a big camera, Canon, and it has an attached microphone to it. And I would put I think they call it dead red. It's like a furry cover for the microphone that it absorbs all the outside noise because it can be very noisy, especially from the wind. So I don't recommend recording your videos outside if it's windy or, too much outside noise. But the best light is either early in the morning or later in the afternoon. And if you can find a place which is quiet and gives that ambience and connects with your brand, that may be what you want to aim for. When we are recording videos, we are connecting to people. So remember, when you're recording all these technical things, you can find them everywhere. And on YouTube, there are a lot of videos that will give you how to do this, this, and this. What I am trying to communicate with you here is do not overthink. Have a plan, write it down. That's why my homework for you was writing down all the thought process of what your whys, your whom, and what do you want to deliver. And I would like to remind you to maybe read through that again. Maybe read through those answers once a week to remind you why you want to record videos, whom you want to address, and what kind of pain do those people have now that you really want to help them, and why the time is now. The equipment, specific equipment, what do you recommend? What many people ask, so what equipment do you recommend? Because they want to get it right. There's so much variety out there. And I told you that on my website, you can see what equipment I use. But it is not about equipment. It is about the message, and it is about the consistency. And your message is connected with how you communicate with your customers, with your clients, with your potential customers and clients, with all your audience. And it's all connected with your copywriting. What do you write for them? What do you tell them? How you communicate? Some people like to write their copy. Some people would give it to somebody else to write for them. I think that, especially in the very beginning, you need to find your own voice in copywriting as well as in video recording. Because especially if you're a solopreneur, if you're representing your brand, you're presenting what you stand for, then it's on you. And I understand it can be quite a bit of pressure. That's why I say practice. You are finding your voice. You are expressing your beliefs. You're expressing what you're standing for. And that will be projected through the camera. There is this video on YouTube that I came across, and it's of a girl in the 7th grade who wrote a poem about being a straight A student and being an outcast and how emotional she was. And sometimes we cannot watch a video for more than 20 seconds because it's not interesting. That video grabbed my attention and I couldn't stop watching. That's what you want to project to your audience. You speak with confidence. You speak with belief. You speak with passion. You express what you are standing for. And that comes with practice, because at first it's awkward looking in the camera and expressing your passion and expressing everything that you're standing for. Practice. And today, I would like for you to write down what kind of equipment you need, absolutely must to have, to do the videos that you are going to record. If you are just practicing, again, all you need is a smartphone. Like yesterday, your homework was just record videos. Today's homework is the same. Record 3 videos, but try to project passion, try to project convincing to your audience. And when you have good light, make sure that you are angling your camera, that you have a decent background, and try to play with a couple different backgrounds. If you are recording against the white wall, put some lamps there and see how you can light it. Excuse me. How can you light up your set that it is going to, that you are visible? It doesn't have to be perfect. You are communicating your message. Does it need to be on brand? Yes. Maybe write down, what is your brand? What does it represent? Do you have a brand? Because that is something that you need to think about. And we will talk a little more about branding tomorrow. But as for today, just remember, there's some aspects of good lighting and good sound, but the most important thing is how you communicate your message, how you share it with the world, and what is that passion. And learn to project passion and sincerity and compassion and communication into that camera when you don't have a person right in front of you. And just practice, practice, and practice. I will talk with you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.